All right, it's that time of the week. We are looking at your dynasty football trades, and if you made a trade this week, comment down below. The community loves to give their input and feedback. If you're not part of the community, drop a like and subscribe as always. And if you want your dynasty trades to be reviewed, all you have to do is go to flockfantasy.com/land. The best way to support what Zach and I are doing here. Send us a screenshot that you signed up, and then you can get access to this channel on our Discord when you sign up at flockfantasy.com/land using our promo code LAND. Not only do you get the ability to get your dynasty trades graded, but you get our rankings and articles and so much more from all the other content creators. So let's get straight into it with our first trade here. Shout out to Bear. He says, one quarterback, start 9. Madison was my RB4, and the pick should be early mid. Okay, so it looks like it's Leonard Fournette, Devin Singletary, a 24 first, and you send away Alexander Madison and Wan'Dale Robinson. Look, I definitely like this trade. You get a 24 first for Alexander Madison. That is something that I personally would do and be happy to do. Wan'Dale Robinson, as much as I love him, I'm happy to take this trade. And obviously, it looks like Leonard Fournette was probably the guy that you just had to get the deal done. You just threw him in just in case he is some sort of league-winning upside. Maybe he comes back within the weeks of the season, and maybe he can be a guy that can be a 10, 12 fantasy flex if need be. So I definitely do like the first for Alexander Madison. Wan'Dale Robinson is nowhere near a first or a second. So just to get the deal done. So yeah, I definitely like this trade. Next trade we have here is Styles. So shout out to you, man. Same league. I'm assuming, okay, same league. After getting Bateman in the previous trade, added him to this package with a Amon-Ra plus Brissett to acquire my first share of Garrett Wilson. It's quite the price I paid, but not often people get Garrett Wilson on a trade block, so I had to jump on it. So my wide receivers now are Garrett Wilson, Olave, DK, Cooper, D-Hop. Okay, let's see. What do you send away? Okay. Jacoby Brissett, Amon-Ra, Rashad Bateman. This is the type of price you're going to have to pay for Garrett Wilson. As much as I love Amon-Ra, I think this is a good price. Garrett Wilson, is a top 5 wide receiver. Amon-Ra is a top 8 wide receiver in my dynasty ranking. So to tier up just that little bit for Garrett Wilson in the future there, I'm really happy to do that. And Jacoby Brissett really doesn't mean anything to me unless Sam Howell really fumbles the ball here this year. But it looks like he is not really fantasy relevant coming into the 2023 season. So I love this trade. I love getting Garrett Wilson. I've been trying to get Garrett Wilson myself. Rab, what's happening? 14-team redraft. My running backs are now Chubb, Stevenson, Sanders with Brian Robinson on the bench. My wide receivers are Judy, Godwin, Hollywood Brown, London, and J-Mo when he comes back. Oh, and I have Kelsey. This is a 14-team redraft league, it looks like. So it looks like you get Godwin, Chubb, Sanders, and Judy, and you send away Garrett Wilson, Tyler Algier, Garrett Wilson, Michael Mayer, and Brian Robinson. So I definitely like this trade for you. Tearing down from Garrett Wilson, it's a big jump, right? Essentially, the way I'm reading this trade is Chris Godwin. Well, really, essentially, let's start from the bottom, actually. It's Jerry Judy for Garrett Wilson. It looks like. I mean, obviously, it's not even in that sense, but this is how it kind of works in my mind. So Jerry Judy for Garrett Wilson. And then you have a Miles Sanders for Tyler Algier. Then you have a Nick Chubb for a Brian Robinson and Chris Godwin for Michael Mayer. So this is a good win trade here for you, especially that you have Travis Kelce and all these other wide receivers once again. Hollywood Brown, London, and J-Mo. Look, what I would say is since this is a redraft, I don't love the fact that you have Hollywood and J-Mo in the first 6 weeks, and I would even say Godwin. These are some guys I am avoiding in my redraft perspective. But I mean, still getting Jerry Judy, and now your running backs are Chubb, Stevenson, Sanders. So I'm really okay with that. And just to double check, yeah, you do get the Jerry Judy side. Okay. Good trade, man. Hand the man what's happening. 12-team Dynasty Superflex start 10. 102 ended up being A-Rich. Okay. So you get A-Rich and Jahan Dotson. Ooh, this one is a close one, man. I mean, Look, Lamar Jackson, top 6, top 8, depending on your rankings. Quarterback, and Anthony Richardson, we are hoping and projecting he is this guy. And Jahan Dotson right now considered a late first. So yes, this is this may seem even in hindsight. I think if I would have gone Bryce Young, I would have felt a little bit more comfortable. If you would have gone Bryce Young, I would have felt a little bit more comfortable in this trade. But overall, decent trade. I think for Lamar Jackson, I think you could have gotten technically more, which sounds crazy. I felt like maybe you could have snuck in a second. You could have snuck in whatever the case may be, because Lamar Jackson is kind of coming back with the rushing upside with this offense with OBJ, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, J.K. Dobbins. I felt like you could have gotten more. Overall, still a decent trade. Once again, the 102, a lot of risks there in the quarterback room. I wonder who your other quarterbacks are, but good trade. Would I have done this trade? I think I would have wanted more for Lamar Jackson, to be completely honest, but maybe I'm being too greedy, right? All right, in the second, you got another one here, 12-team Superflex Dynasty, full PPR start 10. Have T-Law, Bryce Young, and Mac Jones, Zappy as the remaining quarterbacks here. Okay, so looks like you're getting a 24 first, 24 second, a 25 first, and a 25 second, and you send away Harris, Pittman, Kenny, and 24 third. Look, really all depends on where these first are. I think right now Kenny Pickett, in a lot of people's eyes, he's not worth first, and a lot of people's eyes, he's worth a late first in 2023. But in 2024, I think a lot of people would really rather have that. And Michael Pittman, now, which is interesting because you traded for Anthony Richardson and you trade away Michael Pittman. So I'm really wondering, maybe you're trying to get a Marvin Harrison or a Mika Mbuka in that first, with that 24 first, and then hopefully get a quarterback in 2025 or make moves. But once again, you have pretty good quarterbacks in T-Law, Bryce, and Bryce, so you're kind of set there. So good trade. I like that trade for sure. All right, Brock, 12-team, 1 quarterback, half PPR, start 8. Non-tight end premium, already own Hawkinson and Bateman. The league made it clear that Flowers, Shard was the only ones going to be available at the 106. Yeah, this makes sense. 1 quarterback, non-tight end premium. You're going up. You're gonna go get a Quentin Johnston. I remember this. I really love this trade. Quentin Johnston or Jordan Addison, whichever one is going to be available. You had to make this move to move up. So I definitely like this trade here, Brock. I think it's a win trade for you. Style, start 12, startup trade, 12-team Superflex PPR, 1.5 tight end premium, start 10, 4 passing touchdowns. League made it known that he was looking for a 24 first, so I shot my shot and ended up acquiring CMC. Betting on my team this year to compete. So I'm projecting the picks to be late. Still have 2 extra 24 seconds and 2 24 thirds, and all the picks in 25, including an extra 25 second. Lineup includes T-Law, Dak, CMC, Pollard, Diggs, Watson, Burks, Ridley, Flowers, Waller. Okay, so that 206 essentially ended up being, if I'm not mistaken, what was that? Shot ended up getting CMC. Okay. So look, that's interesting. I look at the moment that this lineup here looks like a win now team. Once again, T-Law, Dak, CMC, Pollard, Diggs, C-Watt, Burks, Ridley, Flowers, Waller. That feels really comfortable, feels really great. And the fact that you still have, 2 24 first, 2 24 thirds, you have I'm pretty sure you have your 25 first. So that feels pretty comfortable. So I definitely do like that trade for you. And hopefully, that team kind of pays off in competing. This coach, if I'm not mistaken, 10-team Superflex quarterbacks are Mahomes, Russ, and Ritter. Just trying to stack first for next year and get one of Love. Getting one for Love seeming like a good trade off to me. So Sky Moore, 24 first, J Love. Yeah, I think I remember this trade, coach, if I'm not mistaken. Getting that first for Jordan Love, I think just makes sense. Getting it out the way, you feel confident with Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson right there. If Russell Wilson doesn't work, at least you have a 24 first. Hopefully that is projected a top 5, top 6 first. You get one of these quarterbacks in Caleb Williams or Drake May, then that kind of works out. Alec Pierce, kind of feels that his upside is capped now with Anthony Richardson there. Maybe it's not, or maybe it kind of turns around, and the 24 first makes sense for Sky Moore, especially going with Patrick Mahomes. You kind of get that stack with Mahomes and Sky Moore. So I definitely like that trade for you there, coach. And the last trade here kind of went by quick. Hand the man, 12-team Dynasty Superflex Start 10 full PPR non-tight end premium. Have Kelsey in so many leagues, so I'm moving off in one. Okay, so let's see. Let's look at this trade. This is hand the man. So you traded away Kyler Murray and you get Will Levis, a 24 first, a 24 second, and a 25 first. I think the biggest thing is all depends on where that first is going to be and what that looks like at that time. If these are projected early 24 first, then that's really great. Even that second, obviously, and that 25 first really needs to be something big, hopefully in 2025. And the next trade here looks like you traded away George Pickens in a 24 first, and you receive Alexander Mattison and Drake London. Man, this one is very interesting because I really like Drake London. I think he is a massive tier up to George Pickens, but would I have traded a 24 first for Alexander Mattison? I would say no, to be completely honest with you. I don't love the idea of trading for Alexander Mattison. I'm on the fence, believing that he is not the future for this organization. I don't see him being the running back after the 2023 season, and maybe even at the end of this season, you kind of see a change of things. I think they can even still bring in somebody else, a Leonard Fournette, a Kareem Hunt. What if that's, well, I doubt Dalvin Cook, a Zeke, whatever the case may be, right? Or they even draft a running back in 2024. I'm not necessarily sure I would love to do that trade. So, man, this one's tough because Drake London really evens it out. I think he really makes that tier up significantly worth it for George Pickens, but it all depends where that 24 first is. If that's a late 24 first, that's okay. I think I'm happy to take that chance if that's like the 111, 112, even 110. But if that is a top 6 first for Alexander Mattison, and I'm not necessarily sure I personally love that trade right there. So this one's a tough one to say, but I think right now all depends when that 24 first is going to be. Guys, if you want to be part of this series, once again, all you have to do is sign up at flockfantasy.com/land. That's how you can get your dynasty trades graded on this series. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below any of your dynasty trades that you made this week, and as always, it's all love.
Now that those idiots are done talking, who needs some rankings?
Hell yeah, I need some rankings.
Then use promo code LAND, LAND, for 30% off any membership at flockfantasy.com.
Oh.
It's so easy, even your grandma could scan that QR code right there.